thunder of missile fire echoes across the windswept cliffs of Batanes, and with it, a new line in the Indo-Pacific sand is drawn. For the first time, U.S. forces have unleashed the Navy Marine Expeditionary Ship Interdiction System, NMESIS, on Philippine soil.
The NMESIS, I will confirm that it's already in country. I will not say where, but it is going to participate. It's going to be part of the exercises.
A move that crackles far beyond the roar of the drills themselves. As Balikatan 2025 brings together thousands of American, Filipino, and allied forces, the deployment of this cutting-edge missile system on rugged Bataan Island, perched just a stone's throw from Taiwan and the volatile South China Sea, signals a dramatic shift in regional defense strategy. Against the backdrop of rising U.S.-China tensions, this isn't just about live-fire exercises. It's a bold, unmistakable act of deterrence, drawing a tangible line through some of the world's most contested waters. The Indo-Pacific's balance of power is no longer tilting quietly. It is shifting with thunder, and the world is watching. Perched at the northernmost tip of the Philippines, Batanes holds a strategic key to the Indo-Pacific chessboard. Just a stone's throw from Taiwan, the islands guard the Bashi Channel, a vital artery for global trade and military movement between the South China Sea and the Pacific Ocean. Whoever controls this narrow passage holds a major advantage in any potential regional conflict. Historically, the U.S. and the Philippines have been bound by the 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty, a pact forged in the early Cold War to guarantee mutual protection. Even after U.S. forces withdrew in the 1990s, the alliance endured, and now, with tensions boiling over in the Taiwan Strait and the South China Sea, America's return is unmistakable. China's increasing military assertiveness, from harassing Philippine ships at Scarborough Shoal to staging massive drills around Taiwan, has forced Manila to recalibrate its defense strategy. Batanes, once a remote outpost, is now a frontline buffer, and the deployment of the NMESIS system signals a bold new chapter. A fortified, ready Philippines, standing shoulder to shoulder with its oldest ally in Asia. The Navy Marine Expeditionary Ship Interdiction System, better known as NMESIS, is not just another missile platform. It's a game-changer for modern warfare in the Indo-Pacific. Designed as a new, unmanned, ground-based anti-ship system, NMESIS combines precision firepower with exceptional mobility, allowing U.S. forces to quickly set up, fire, and relocate across island chains like the Philippines. At its core, NMESIS launches the highly advanced Naval Strike Missile, NSM, a weapon specifically engineered to take out major enemy warships with pinpoint accuracy over long distances. This dramatically boosts sea denial capabilities, meaning it can effectively block enemy fleets from operating freely in contested waters, like the Bashi Channel or South China Sea. But NMESIS isn't an isolated upgrade, it's part of a much bigger picture. Under the U.S. Marine Corps' ambitious Force Design 2030 strategy, the Corps is reinventing itself to meet the challenges posed by China's expanding naval power. Instead of relying on large, vulnerable bases, the new vision emphasizes small, dispersed, and highly mobile units, capable of rapid deployment and lethal strikes. NMESIS fits this doctrine perfectly. Light enough to move quickly, deadly enough to change the outcome of a maritime battle. Its arrival in Batanes sends a crystal-clear message. The U.S. is adapting fast, and it's ready to challenge China's dominance in the Pacific's most critical choke points. Balikatan 2025 isn't just another military exercise. It's the largest and most ambitious one in the alliance's history, with about 9,000 U.S. troops, 5,000 Filipino soldiers, 260 Australian personnel, and Japanese observers.
Like we practice, you guys get loaded up, second three casters will line up with me.
This year's drills bring unprecedented firepower and coordination to the table, across land, sea, and air. Allied forces are engaged in what officials described as a full-scale battle scenario, practicing everything from amphibious assaults to repelling hostile forces in strategic hotspots. One of the most dramatic moments came in Zambales province, where U.S. Marine air defense systems blasted drones simulating enemy aircraft out of the sky. Every drone downed here is a message. We're ready to defend.
So today we're defending the coastline here. Again, FA-50s flew out simulating cruise missiles. So the frigate engaged the cruise missiles. They turned around and started coming towards the shoreline, which Spider then integrated. And then we started flying drones against MADIS in defense of Spider.
General Michael Logico, spokesperson for Balikatan 2025. Near the contested waters of the South China Sea, missile systems unleashed a barrage of precision fire, reinforcing deterrence near Chinese-occupied features.
All of this that you're seeing here is a culmination of all of these efforts. What we're looking at here is really an exercise verging into a full battle test, which means we are now treating the exercise as a rehearsal for our defense.
Training wasn't confined to one theater. In Palawan, directly facing the West Philippine Sea, troops drilled on coastal defense and rapid island fortification. Meanwhile, in Cagayan province and Batanes, facing the Bashi Channel toward Taiwan, U.S. and Filipino forces rehearsed counter-landing operations. A peaceful region is built on strength, not hope, Logico emphasized. U.S. Marine Lieutenant General Michael Kitterholm added, "Our commitment here is rock solid. We are training not just for today, but for every challenge the future might bring." China wasted no time in blasting Balikatan 2025 as provocative and destabilizing, accusing the US and the Philippines of heightening tensions in the region. Almost immediately, the Chinese military flexed its muscle. A full carrier strike group, led by the Shandong, was spotted maneuvering dangerously close to Batanes and staging high-profile drills across the Taiwan Strait. China will not sit idly by as foreign forces stir trouble at its doorstep, warned a spokesperson from Beijing's Ministry of National Defense. Meanwhile, tensions at sea continued to boil over. Near Scarborough Shoal, Chinese Coast Guard vessels once again resorted to aggressive tactics, blasting Philippine resupply ships with water cannons and executing near-collision maneuvers. In the skies, Chinese warships fired flares dangerously close to Philippine patrol planes operating in contested waters, escalating fears of a potential accident sparking a wider conflict. Every day out there is a balancing act between patience and provocation, said a Philippine Navy officer, speaking under condition of anonymity. As Balikatan 2025 intensifies, so too does China's warning. The Indo-Pacific is bracing for a long, tense summer. Alongside the groundbreaking NMESIS deployment, U.S. forces have quietly expanded their missile footprint in the northern Philippines. For the first time, mid-range missile launchers capable of firing Tomahawk cruise missiles and SM-6 interceptors have been positioned near Luzon's airfields and coastal areas. The Tomahawks, with a range exceeding 1,600 kilometers, bring key portions of mainland China, including critical military hubs, within striking distance. "This is a strategic game changer," said Lieutenant General William Journey, commander of U.S. Marine Corps Forces, Pacific. "It's about giving commanders flexible, mobile options in a highly contested environment. Designed for rapid repositioning, these launchers can shift quickly between coastal zones and inland bases, complicating enemy targeting efforts." U.S. officials emphasized that this mobility is crucial for surviving a high-end fight, where fixed bases would be early targets. The message is clear. The U.S. is not just rehearsing defense anymore. It's actively building a credible deterrent right at the doorstep of Asia's most volatile flashpoints. Amid rising tensions, the Philippines is carefully navigating its role. Officially, Manila has emphasized that the Balikatan exercises, including the historic NMESIS deployment, are aimed solely at defending its sovereign territory, not provoking conflict. "We do not aim to instigate war. We aim to prevent it through strength," said Philippine Brigadier General Michael Logico, Executive Agent for Balikatan 2025. His statement reflects the government's delicate balancing act, showing resolve without becoming a flashpoint. Yet internally, debates rage. Some political factions, particularly those wary of too much reliance on Washington, warn that hosting U.S. forces could make the Philippines an early target in any U.S.-China clash. Despite these concerns, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s administration remains committed to strengthening military alliances, arguing that credible deterrence is the only way to safeguard national interests amid China's increasingly aggressive behavior.
Aware that the emerging threat to our territory and our emphasis on addressing this threat requires adjustment in our strategy. The external security environment is becoming more complex. It is becoming more unpredictable. Common security challenges necessitate a more concerted approach among like-minded nations. Share information, learn from the best practices in the region to make our military better.
The arrival of NMESIS in Batanes symbolizes a major evolution in Indo-Pacific security dynamics. The United States is doubling down on fortifying the first island chain, stretching from Japan to Taiwan to the Philippines, to create a formidable wall against Chinese maritime expansion. Regional cooperation is growing stronger. Australia, Japan, and South Korea now regularly join U.S.-Philippine exercises, while even ASEAN countries like Vietnam and Indonesia are inching closer to U.S. security circles. This emerging web of alliances enhances deterrence. With new systems like NMESIS deployed forward, any Chinese move toward Taiwan or the South China Sea becomes riskier and more complicated. Presence matters. Posture matters even more, said Lieutenant General Christopher Mahoney, U.S. Marine Corps, Forces Pacific Commander. Yet, the risks for Manila are undeniable. A more fortified Philippines could become a prime target if conflict erupts. Analysts warn that while deterrence is critical, so is diplomatic finesse to avoid spiraling into direct confrontation. In this new era, small islands like Batanes are no longer sleepy outposts. They are frontline nodes in a global power struggle. The deployment of NMESIS on remote Batan Island marks more than a military exercise. It's a shift toward a faster, smarter, and more forward defense posture for the Indo-Pacific. It's a clear message. Even the smallest patches of land now carry strategic weight in a world tilting toward great power rivalry. Looking ahead, joint exercises like Balikatan will likely grow even larger and more complex, cementing the Philippines' central role in regional defense strategies. Brigadier General Michael Logico captured the moment perfectly. We are not preparing for war. We are preparing to prevent it by being ready. In the battle for the Pacific's future, even the smallest islands now wield missiles with a global reach. Thank you for tuning in to our channel. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth analysis of global issues.